Shalom Akim, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of the great stones of the world, and the Akim throughout the falconers of the earth to you say greetings, Shalom. Yes, Brahma Nasha DC Camp again, just another lesson, certify the hopeful elect. Yeah, we gotta flood these airwaves with the truth. All right, you just gotta keep our people aware of what's going on in the world, and the serious times we're living in, right? Because it's times of mass hysteria, mass upheaval. You watch the news, it's nothing but disaster after disaster and propaganda. Yeah, because you know that these elites, man, they're up to no good, and they're they're making major moves, right, to push their so-called vaccination agenda for the whole world, and they're gonna be experiencing resistance from the people. And then you see how channels are being taken down because they need to have their agenda fulfilled. Around the they're gonna push harder. Ultimately, they have to shut down the internet. Yeah, because they're getting exposed day and night, and this is just the spirit of the Lord Hamashiach Yahushua, letting the world know what's at hand, what's going to be taking place. So I'm just going to play this clip real quick. He just exposes that these so-called pharmaceutical companies, man, they're just, the gateway to hell.
The vaccine is coming out soon. I won't be talking about it, but I will tell you about the company behind it. The UK government has purchased 30 million doses of COVID mRNA vaccine from a company called Pfizer. The vaccine is due to be delivered in November, with the potential of 100 million doses by the end of the year and 1.3 billion doses next year.
News just out. Pfizer says it could be ready to apply for emergency use authorization for its COVID-19 vaccine candidate by late November.
It won't be mandatory at the beginning, but judging from the large orders, a gradual plan will be implemented to persuade and incentivize people to take the vaccine and put restrictions on people that don't, along with shaming campaigns.
I want to tell them that their decision, they need to understand, will not affect only their lives, which at the end of the day, it is their judgment. But
And that's the elite for you, man. They have nothing but darkness for this world. And that's the reason why the Lord Bashima Shai has to hurry up and take them out of the way, because their rulership has been nothing but misery upon the face of the earth. And they don't care, they don't understand that the Lord Bashima Shai is a just power. And the time of their judgment is going to be swift.
it will affect the lives of others, because if they don't vaccinate, they will become the weak link that will let this virus replicate.
And that's the reason why they're going to start naming and shaming people and branding them as super spreaders and folks that are not being patriotic. And they have to hurl them off to a so-called isolation center or concentration camp. So it's all part of the agenda. You shouldn't be acting surprised, because the Lord Shima already told you they will cast some of us into prisons, and that's part of the prophecy, okay, that you have to experience. All right, because the Lord Shema Shai has always been true to his words. All right, and that's one thing, the men of the Lord have already expressed on the highways and byways. So a quick precept I would love to read would be from the book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. Alright, so understand that these elites are upset, and they're going to try their best to interfere with the, with the men of the Lord.
But judging from the large orders, a gradual plan will be implemented to persuade and incentivize people to take the vaccine and put restrictions on people that don't, along with shaming campaigns.
I want to tell them that their decision, they need to understand, will not affect only their lives, which at the end of the day, it is their judgment, but will affect the lives of others. Because if they don't vaccinate, they will become the weak link that will allow this virus to replicate.
Some will say that this is conspiracy theory, so let's just stick to the facts. The government trusted Pfizer to vaccinate the British people, so it's logical to want to inquire into the company's track record in safety and ethics. After all, they must be trustworthy in fighting for humanity, right? Pfizer made itself one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the world by purchasing its competitors and through aggressive marketing tactics. What I'm about to tell you is only 20% of their rap sheet, otherwise this video would be hours long. But you can go to our website where you can see the full list.
So just imagine if you're Jake, or whoever the person can be, that comes up with the perfect cure for a coronavirus. They want to buy you out, and if they can buy you out, they're going to come after you with their so-called minions, all right? That's how dirty, the so-called pharmaceutical industry can get. When they see something that you have and they want it so bad, they will go to any extreme, all right? And that's why you see a lot of so-called microbiologists and cellular biologists just fall off the face of the earth, and all these so-called holistic doctors. So you just got to pray that, you see what's going on. So the book of Sirach chapter 12 verse 10 tells you that never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. That's clear as day. All right, his job is to steal, kill, and to destroy. So why expect anything else from him? All right, because once he finds the opportunity, he's going to do what he's been always about. All right, verse 11, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. All right, so when you see these companies beginning to be sued, and they get judgment against them in the millions and billions, don't take that as a victory that they've changed their practices. It's all a charade, because at the end of the day, they're coming for you. They don't really care about how much money you have. You are the ultimate prize they need to conquer, all right? Because they could take your money from you overnight, but as long as they haven't had your life in their hands, just like that, they're not going to stop, they're not going to rest. All right, thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So they're not going to give up until they come after you. They take you down, they take your family down, and that's why the Lord Shai wants us to stand firm in his word, in righteousness and in truth. Then verse 12 says, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. And you have the sellouts of our people that are pushing their agenda of all this mass vaccination and democracy and all that stuff. The Lord by Shema Shai is going to jack them up. All right. So our people that trust in the system, they're going to be miserable. Scripture says those that put their trust in the system, they're going to be hard in derision. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, all right, lest he seek to take thy seat, right? Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last end remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Yeah, so you don't want to make yourself a victim of Esau's trickery, his quackery. Yeah, so just pray the Lord that Bashima shall continue to strengthen your spirit.
Pfizer received the biggest criminal fine in US history as part of a $2.3 billion settlement with federal prosecutors for mispromoting medicines and for paying kickbacks to compliant doctors. Pfizer pleaded guilty to misbranding the painkiller Bextra by promoting the drug for uses that were not approved by medical regulators. In the 90s, they were involved in defective heart valves that led to the deaths of more than 100 people. The company had deliberately misled regulators about the hazards. The company agreed to pay $10.75 million to settle Justice Department charges.
And that's what they do, man. They create these so-called drugs to experiment on the people and to see how they could move on with their agenda. Because that's exactly what it is. It's just one experiment. They just masquerade it as so-called, medication to improve people's quality of life. But that's just, a play on words. Okay. So the book of Exodus chapter 23, verse 7, it says, keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. And that's a cut, to Esau and his so-called system of rulership, man. It's always based on falsehood, and they're always coming against the men of the Lord and the children of Israel, all right, because he seeks to take our life, he seeks to shed our blood. And the Lord Yahweh Shemasha is angry with his elites every day. He's angry with his Edomites, angry with the heathen every day. And the sellouts of our nation don't understand that the Lord Yahweh Shemasha is extremely angry and that he's going to unleash his wrath upon the face of the earth. Verse 8, and thou shalt take no gift, for the gift blinded the wise and perverted the words of the righteous. And you're just going to be surprised about all the people that will be coming out the woodwork in these last days to stand against the men of the Lord for preaching the true gospel of the Holy Scriptures, right, that the Lord Yahushua has given unto us. You're going to be surprised, all right? So you just have to stand firm and remember that you have to stick with the plan that the Lord Yahushua has set before you, all right? Because Esau's nothing but a liar, just like they say in the world, the devil's a liar. Yeah, so he seeks, to slay the innocent and righteous, all right? And the Lord Yahushua will deliver us out of his hand. And when you read the book of Job, chapter 13, verse 4, it clearly tells you, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. All right. So there's nothing Esau can do to change his nature, because he's always hell bent on being a liar and a murderer.
Pfizer also had a class action suit with a $60 million settlement over Resolin.
And that's what Esau likes to do, man. Witchcraft. Pharmakia. Always misleading the people, deceiving the people. You can't create a business like that. The Lord doesn't like a false balance. It's an abomination to the Lord. So the Lord has to take Esau out of the way, because the world can no longer bear this rulership of falsehoods. All right. And then final precept I would like to bring out to be from the book of Sirach chapter 38. The Lord has already given us everything we needed, to be alive and to sustain ourselves. But these Edomites just keep interfering with what the Lord has already set in place. He's always interfering with the balances of nature. So the book of Sirach chapter 38 verse 4 says, the Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. So that just proves to you that these Edomites are not wise, man. These Edomite elites are not wise. They're fools. super fools. And they just keep, going against the will of the Lord. They're always interfering with nature, making life difficult for farmers to farm the right way, making it hard for people to use herbs to take care of their daily lives and their daily needs. So just, expect the Lord Abashim Shai to start coming after them very soon.
Diabetes medication that resulted in patients dying of acute liver failure, said to be caused by the drug. In the UK, they have been fined nearly £90 million by the UK's competition watchdog for unfair pricing to the NHS after hiking up the cost of an anti-epilepsy drug by 2,500%, charging the taxpayer an extra £48 million than the actual price, which is £2 million per year. Buying competitors and mis-selling drugs weren't the only factors in making them the giant of a company they are.
Yep, so that's what they do, and they bribe the so-called politicians and the so-called medical professionals so they could get their way, and they put their so-called lab dogs to be as gatekeepers of all these regulatory agencies. So that's how they're able to push their medication on the market. And then when they get caught, all of a sudden, they pretend as if they had done nothing wrong. So the Lord Abashim Shai is not going to let this continue any longer. He's just going to have to wipe them off the slate. So that's a point that I can. You can always go online and do your research and understand how evil Esau's pharmaceutical industry is, man. It's just a bunch of, of quacks running around making life difficult. And the Lord Abashim Shai is patient. So you just have to hope in the Lord in this last days that you don't get sucked in, though they cast you into prison. Have faith. Shalom.